Ugh, it's
So
just so good to be back.
it is. It is. But
A
I'm
lot of
really
commotion.
sad Aquarius is ending. It just flew by.
This was so fast. Are we sure we're on our last episode
I'm
for
pretty
Aquarius?
positive the sun
I mean, I
enters
believe
Pisces
you.
on the 19th or the 18th. Sorry, the day after my birthday.
Yeah, you're so close to Pisces, the way I'm so close to Aries. Except you're
Yeah.
closer to Pisces.
Yeah. And one thing that I think is a misconception in astrology is that the dates do fluctuate year to year. Like it's not like Pisces always starts on February 18th. Some years it'll be the
Mm.
19th, the 20th. It's always in that region, but it's not always that day. But I am the last degree of Aquarius.
Like
I
it's never like Pisces season has never accidentally fallen on the 17th.
It's a good question. I don't think so in my
I feel like if
lifetime,
you're that
but
last degree of Aquarius, then it has not. Just
yeah, I
kind of
don't
the
know.
similar way, like even if it's exactly like I always know the 19th is at least Pisces. Like that's very
Mm,
like when people are like, oh, so you're right on the cusp. So like are sometimes you an Aries? I'm like, no, that's
right.
not how it no. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm a Pisces. Like
Yeah.
it definitely because there's still a whole nother day of
Right.
Pisces before. So I feel like, yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, that flew by.
It did. It flew by, but you know, very excited about Pisces.
It's almost like an extension of Aquarius. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
It really is sort of like you take all the best parts of Aquarius. I mean, like we talked about, Pisces sort of has a little bit of all the signs, right? So I guess every
Mhm.
sort of little piece of the signs are technically in it, but I definitely think there's the more we've studied this, the more I realized how much Aquarius and Pisces um are like buddies, or they're very
Yeah.
like similar in a lot of ways. They're different in a lot of ways too, don't get me wrong, but like
Mhm.
it is really funny how they really kind of mesh well as partners,
I
as little
really
partner
feel that
signs.
way. Yeah, no, I think so. I think so.
I
It's
really
yeah.
enjoy it. It just makes sense why I have so much Aquarius around me.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like
Very
the fact
exciting.
that Aquarius like is into patterns and observation. It's like, yeah, they're both like into similar things, but one is in a more intellectual sense, I guess, where the other is more
Logical
I can
about it.
feel it, the
Uh,
spirit, you know.
I see. I see. Not as logical.
Right. Yeah.
You were talking about Pisces. I got you.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got you.
But
Whoops.
Pisces aren't logical, but
They
or
have
that
their
they can't be.
moments,
Yeah.
rare, far between, but they have them. Yeah, no, it's just it is funny how those signs are, or just yeah. And I don't know if it's because I'm playing favorites, and it's just because I have
Right.
a lot of Aquarians in my life, and then I am a Pisces.
Hmm.
But it's just one of my favorite signs. I really enjoy this season. And then we're about to, so yeah, as you said, your birthday, Heather's on the 17th. Heather, our astrology queen, our astrology queen bee, just our astrology little Miss Know It All in the best ways. Where our birthdays are literally almost a month. Me as a little astrology not know it
Yeah.
all. Me, Miranda, as a little astrology newbie. I'm the 19th. Like we just were
Yeah.
discussing like that. I just realized, wow, we really are almost like a month apart. It's kind of
Yeah.
funny.
That's cute.
It's cute. But yes, we kicked off Pisces. I know that we're still in Aquarius, but it's also just like no coincidence that Rihanna did the Super Bowl halftime performance, kicked
Hmm.
us off into Pisces season. What was she doing? What was she doing kicking us off like that? It was absolutely incredible. But to like, she brought so much Pisces energy to such an Aquarius moment. Like she didn't
Ooh.
bring anyone else out on stage and during her performance. It was such
Mm.
a not, I don't want to say minimalist performance. That's not what I mean by any means, but it's
Yeah.
just like it wasn't super over the top and flashy like the Super Bowl sometimes can be.
Yeah.
Like she definitely, I know you haven't seen it yet, Heather. You have to watch it,
I know.
folks,
I do. I do.
listeners.
I
If you
can't
if
believe
you
I
haven't
forgot
seen it,
about it today, but
I
I do.
know.
I love her.
And life is busy. We have a lot going
Yeah.
on. Listen,
Yeah.
no one, but you must watch. It is
Yeah.
just like
No.
it's a must watch. It's so
Yeah.
good. And there was a big debate, at least at the Super Bowl party that I was at. Like, is she pregnant or is that like post baby bump? And I was like, I know she just recently did have a baby, but it also feels like it was kind of enough time away that I was like, it really feels like she's showing off this bump in a very specific, like it feels like a choice, like her out, like specifically how she was wearing her outfit. She was by no means trying to hide it. And also like, even if she wasn't pregnant and she was just like showing off her post baby bod, like I am woman, hear me roar, that also would have been hot and amazing. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But then specifically towards the end of the performance, and I think at other parts in the performance, but specifically at the end when she's singing Shine Bright Like a Diamond and she's like elevated on this cool platform, she like rubs her like stomach in a way that's like, there's a baby in there for sure. Like it was such a beautiful, just I thought so Pisces
Yeah,
moment,
I love that.
but also very Aquarius. And like the way that she and she didn't do a single outfit change. She like had this incredible red jumpsuit fit, not to spoil anything for the listeners and you, Heather. And then she like adds, you'll see what I mean. She like kind of adds extensions to the outfit, so to speak. But like she doesn't do anything super over the top. She's just singing her songs, doing her little, like, even her moves are so Rihanna with it. And like, and she's pregnant. So the whole thing's just extra amazing because she's fucking pregnant. And like, it's an incredible performance. One of my favorite Super Bowl performances to this date. And she like dabs up her guitarist at one point. And like, I just thought that was so Pisces.
What do you mean? Like,
I just like, she just like, you could just feel a lot of emotion in the, I feel I could just feel Rihanna through the screen. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a hater by any means, but I'm also not, I've never been like a Rihanna super mega fan. I knew all of the hits she sang, but like in terms of, I haven't followed, I consider myself, when I'm a super fan, I usually am super invested in that person's personal life. And I'm a lot more like, but I've always known Rihanna to be a Pisces. And I like, that was always a proud one of mine. Cause like the other big Pisces was like Justin fucking Bieber. And I'm super not a fan of his. One might say I actually maybe am a Bieber hater. We digress. But like Heather's like, Miranda, don't do that to the listeners.
No.
What are they? The Bieber Hive?
I kind of like young Bieber, at least. I kind
like,
of
don't
love,
get me wrong,
like Never Say Never, the movie, and
I'll sing all the hits all day, honey. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm more
music,
like,
I really do like, but
him representing Pisces is very shocking to me. And like, not something I'm the most proud of with his behavior all the time. But don't get me wrong, I'll bop my little head to the beats. I'm more of a hater of Bieber's personality. I love his little songs. I wish he was a little nicer, but I also people are complex, and like I think he's a damaged Pisces. I think he exhibits signs of a very hurt Pisces.
And he got famous
and an immature
so
Pisces. He's kind of stuck in being immature for a Pisces. I think. And he could just be using his power for so much good. I just see so much more potential in the Biebs.
Totally.
Want to be clear. Hater was too strong of a phrase. You're right, Heather.
Reel
me back in.
I mean, you can hate him.
But like, he's also been through a lot. I'm not trying to like, I get it.
I
don't get it.
In a way,
I get that I don't get it.
No,
exactly.
Every child who like reaches that level of fame, it must be a trauma.
It's literally traumatic.
But at the same time, there's Hillary Duff, she turned out great.
She really came out on top of everything, didn't she? Thank God. R.I.P. to Aaron Carter. I just like, that really crushed me to hear that. That one was so sad, but like, he was so famous at the time, and I remember being so jealous that Lizzie McGuire got to kiss him in the Christmas episode. And like, I don't think he was the nicest to her because he was a little twat, like famous boy. He was like a lot like the Biebs, but like, Hillary Duff. It's what a comeback she's made. I love her. What's her sign, Heather?
I think she's a Taurus.
That would make a lot of sense.
That right. Grounded,
that would check out.
Value driven. She's not out there being with the Mileys and the. I mean, I love the Mileys, but
we love the Mileys. And Miley had, but like, I don't know, Hillary got out like scarred, but she's like, but it's okay.
Right.
Because they all got scarred on a lot of levels, but like Miley got scarred and has a rebellion to her, which I love too. Don't get me wrong. But there is something about Hillary's still like the girl, like Miley's not the girl next door. Miley's a famous ass superstar. Like she has elevated. Hillary, not super respectful. I mean this with all due respect. I feel like I could approach her.
Oh yeah,
but you couldn't approach Miley, but there'd be a whole other element to it. Whereas because Miley ended up excelling to just like superstardom in a way that Hillary stayed like superstar to like the little child's inside. And like she still, it was always that like cute girl next door role model.
Yeah.
Anywho,
Totally.
as is in ending in Aquarius and going into Pisces fashion. That was a ramble. But Heather, so sorry.
No.
That was a fun one. As we're ending and wrapping up Aquarius, what are the stars looking like? What's on the horizons for us?
Yeah. Well, as we record this, it's February 13th. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day, but when you listen to this, that will have already happened. But it's a special Valentine's Day because Venus is meeting up with Neptune, which is, they say that Neptune is like the exalted, evolved version of Venus. So it brings this like evolved state of love, this extra dose of like spiritual love, a really romantic energy that is, it's the conjunction is tightest on the 15th, so it might be like the night of the 14th leading into the 15th. You're feeling that dreamy sort of lovey mood.
Love. Okay.
And yeah, and then but then we also, on my birthday, the sun is meeting up with Saturn in the like February 16th to 18th range. So that's like kind of a different energy because Saturn is like, all right, we need to take stock. We're very Capricorn. We have to face our limitations, make things physical, bring form to things. But I try not to look at Saturn in a negative at the same time. I mean, I have a really strong Saturn placement in my own natal chart, and I feel like I like the idea of bringing form to things. That's how I like to look at Saturn, is like, you can. And it's cool with Pisces. Now I'm rambling, but it's cool with Pisces being this very like, dreamy sort of mystical energy. The fact that we have Saturn at play this week as we're entering into that is kind of cool because it's like anything that you're dreaming, manifesting, dealing with in that very abstract Pisces way, we can like bring form to it with Saturn. So I actually think it's a really cool like energy happening. Because you said
yes, no, and so much movement on your birthday.
I know.
So much commotion.
I'm like bracing myself, but I've already been feeling like things are fucking amped up. I don't know.
Yeah, I was literally
in a good way.
No, before we even started recording, I was like, I'm extra looking forward to what Heather has to say about the stars and the movement in the skies right now, because I'm fucking feeling it in a lot of good ways. Like I'm feeling really amped up. I'm feeling creatively charged.
Yeah.
I'm feeling like, it's really funny that we brought up like the romance, because I've recently been like, this is such a cliche and it's not the first time I've heard it before, but it's the first time I've really tried to like embody it and implement it more, of sort of this like romance with your own life. And I think traveling to another city and getting a little taste of Europe like has really made this a lot more like profound in my day-to-day, that I'm really trying to like find that self-love within myself and like loving and like having fun during my day-to-day, making my day-to-day, not even the mundane, make it like fun. And a lot of that is like leading with the heart.
Yeah. No, I love that. Yeah, like I
so it's just really interesting to hear you say that. And I love the idea that Valentine's Day for me has always been like, first of all, people are like, it's not a holiday. And I get that. I think it's a complicated thing, but I've always loved looking at it as like a day to love yourself, a day to love your love, just to express love in general. Totally. And I think that's something we should be doing every day. Don't get me wrong. But what a nice like reminder, a national reminder of like, to me, it's never been about romantic love all the time, or like, even though I have a Valentine, so to speak, like I have a partner for the past few Valentines, like, and that's really nice. And we express it. It's also like, I love sending my mom flowers on this day. And I love like, getting my parents little gifts here and there or whatever when it comes to Valentine's Day, or just people that like are really close to me. I just think it's a nice little national reminder. Or I guess worldwide one. But anyways, it's just a nice reminder that it doesn't always have to be like love in the sense of relationships. There's so many other ways that applies.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I really liked what you said about bringing like romanticism to the mundane. Like I've been thinking about that a lot too lately. Like, how can I treat myself with like experimenting with makeup this morning, or like
showing up for
listening
myself
to
in a cute, fun way,
yeah,
in a
yeah, or
surface level
like
way. Yeah, or
getting
like
that
what's the new
smoothie at
music
Whole
I'm
Foods,
gonna.
or the new music. Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
things like that. Just little
yes.
things to make life exciting. Yeah.
I love that, Heather. Yeah, that's something that like I've been feeling extra charged up about recently, and I really feel like I owe a lot of that to my trip, which was just kind
Yeah,
of like
that's
fun.
cool.
And that trip happened during a big Leo moon, and so this was also
Right.
something that I really manifested for when I like got back home to New York. I was like, I want to do X, Y, and Z a lot more, or feel like I'm
Yeah,
blah blah blah.
that's
So
cool.
no, like what an exciting time. I hope the
And
listeners are having an exciting time too. Go on,
yeah,
Heather.
me too. And also there's so much happening this week. Also,
A
we're
lot of
moving into
commotion.
Pisces on the 18th, and then 2 days after that we have the Pisces new moon. So
Mm.
and that's like occurring around the same time. That's like in conversation with the Saturn thing. So it's a lot of like big romantic. I also think Pisces is a romantic sign.
Yeah.
Like big romantic, like dreamy energy, and then like we can bring form to it. We can make it a reality. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's an exciting like there's just been a lot of like it's also exciting to have this like just in the same way we've talked about the way Capricorn aligns with the new moon and that it's a very anchoring grounding sign for like the what I just say Capricorn aligns with the new
Saturn, you mean?
year.
Oh, Capricorn with
Sorry.
New Year. Yeah.
The way it kind of it absolutely aligns in that capacity of like anchoring yourself and grounding yourself, getting ready for the upcoming new year.
Mm-hmm.
Then we flow into this like Aquarius that's a lot more of like, okay, with the forward motion and sort of like this charge up sign. And then Pisces, you sort of have like the real, I feel like this is a big planning time. Like there's almost like Capricorn's
Yes.
like, not that Capricorn wasn't a big planning sign, but it's almost to get your ducks in a row so that you can like implement in the next few seasons. Like Capricorn's such a big umbrella sign.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's so much charge to it in that reset way.
Mm-hmm.
Pisces, though, it being at the very end of the year, there's almost this again, this renew year element sort of to it.
Yes. Yes.
It's like
Yes.
we just had the human new year, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like the real new year. And it's really interesting to me that it's not too far after the Chinese New Year.
Mm-hmm.
And just sort of it does just feel like this astrologically we're about to end and enter a new year because
No,
it's
totally.
like and then like the Aries being the beginning of and like that being fire like what a better time than Pisces to really plan out your dreams like big
Mm-hmm.
manifestation. I feel like Capricorn is a time to really plan out those manifestations for your year that are like I'm not saying that you can't plan something that might not be as obtainable as you think or like not saying you should like plan for comfort but it does
Yeah.
just feel like Capricorn is a lot more of those human
Yeah.
plans.
The in the physical realm, in the yeah.
Yes. And Pisces is like a very big picture, dreamy, like
Yes.
it's like an end of the year. If you could dream anything possible for this new year, like what would it be? I don't know. It's just really
Totally.
interesting how that aligns.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, sorry, go ahead, Heather.
Oh no, yeah. I
I'm
was just
rambling.
gonna yeah, I was basically just gonna
Pisces is
reiterate
getting to
that.
me.
No, it's yeah, I love it though.
I'm getting in my comfort zone. Uh-oh, stop me.
No, never. I feel like Capricorn's about like goals that can be seen on paper, and the
Mm-hmm.
Pisces time is about it's really about like energy. Like what do you
Mm-hmm.
want energetically? What do you want to
Mm-hmm.
feel? Yeah, like how do you want to have the best habits and the best like mental health, I kind of think,
Yeah.
to journey forward and achieve your goals.
Yeah.
And I also have to say, like, if you are able to pull up your natal chart and you know when the sun is traveling through the 12th house, which is Pisces house,
Mm-hmm.
that's also like a new year moment. And
I'll do that when we break.
yes, no, I feel that so strongly. Like that happened to me right before we started this podcast. I was in this like incubation state where I was thinking about like what I feel stagnant. Like what's next?
Yeah.
Like I feel like I need a recharge.
Change
And
it
then
up,
I
yeah.
like started all these things after the 12th house transit. But like
Amazing, yeah.
but this Pisces time is also that because we're at the end of the zodiac. So it's
a lot of
time
reflection
to
time, but a
yeah,
lot of like dreamy time too. It feels like a
yes.
combination of the both. Like using those reflections to sort of dream with as like it's almost like they're the blueprint of like what to dream and aim for this
Yes.
next time. And it's it is just interesting that we talk about this in this way, because selfishly, my birthday being March 19th and like me being a Pisces, this has always felt like how I've sort of planned out my year and my time, especially when I like got out of school. It was always
Mhm.
sort of like when I started paying attention to the calendar in a more spiritual way, slowly and gradually, even when I look back and realize I didn't realize I was doing that at the time. I
Yeah.
was.
Mhm.
I realized how much it always felt like, well, there's like the human new year that's like there for like all the logistics planning. But then when my
Right.
like birthday year comes up, that's my true new year. That's like
Yeah.
Miranda's true new year. And it's just funny because I feel like it applies to everyone astrologically because of where Pisces comes in the calendar, like we just said, and it is like a
Yeah.
restart. But it's just so funny that I was selfishly using it just like for me in that way for so long, that it's a really exciting feeling that it's like it's a bigger picture thing again. And of
Yeah.
course it is, because it's Pisces. No,
Yeah.
but like
Always.
it's always just fun to realize what you can like again. And the more I study this and the more we talk about this and the more you teach me, Heather, the more I realize it just so much gets to apply to everyone. And there's not
Yeah.
like one single part of astrology that you're not allowed to tap into or that's not meant
Mhm.
for someone. Like
Mhm.
by the sheer fact that you're human, astrology is like you're entitled to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
just an
Totally.
exciting like, yeah, it's that's which is very Pisces to feel. And I just like
Yes.
I've been feeling very well in Aquarius as well. Like I've been
Mhm.
like when we talk about community, I've been
Mhm.
feeling really attached to like community recently. And even today, I like left my apartment, went downstairs, my sweet soup, my what am I trying to say? My superintendent who
Uh-huh.
lives in the building. He's the sweetest, most Swedish little gentleman.
Aw.
And him and his wife live downstairs. They have a son about my age, and sometimes packages just get like not distributed correctly all the time. Our building is like, I won't give too much away on the
Mhm.
pod because I know the listeners are gonna stalk me. Stop it.
Oh, I know that is scary.
Listeners, you can't
Don't
stalk me. And
stalk. Don't
I've already
stalk
had to
her.
file some complaints. Just kidding. But like the way my building is sort of like split weird, and so it makes sense that sometimes mail just gets messed up. So my
Yeah.
soup will like take a lot of my packages for me so that I know just to like go to him into his apartment to like pick it up, which is just so sweet. So I went there, picked it up, had such a nice interaction with them, and on my way back bumped into like a couple more like neighbors and just had really nice interactions with everyone in a
Oh,
way that I was like
yeah.
bouncing back to my apartment like the world's just a beautiful place sometimes. And then I got
Yeah.
a fucking notification that was like, U-Haul runs over 8 people on the sidewalk. I was like, all right.
Oh my
I
God.
I just had a nice moment, but okay. Yeah.
Wait,
And
that
my that
that's
is,
really
yeah, that's
funny.
true. That happened today. My dad texted me, was like, you alive? And I was like, yes, it was fortunately very far away, but also fortunately, damn, you're right.
Or
This was
yeah, sorry, that's not fun. I mean, the way you told
no,
that
but
is
yes, no,
funny, but it's also
I shouldn't
very
have joked in that
concerning.
way, but yeah.
No, oh my God.
But anyway, so it's
Oh
just funny
shit.
how that's the complications of life, am I right?
Yeah.
But yeah, and just
Pisces is
I
also about
balance.
renewal and
Yeah.
death and all the water signs. Anyway.
But yeah, I just had a really nice moment with like fellow homies and like homies in the community.
Yeah.
And I've just been feeling
Oh.
extra like and like as I was telling you earlier before we started recording, like reaching out to a friend about like creating a short film and like working together and
Yeah.
having like just like really I've been thinking a lot creatively of what I want to accomplish this year. And I feel like that's very Aquarius and Pisces. And it's
Very.
really nice that you almost get this like extra buffer of both of those being heavy community, creative, big like third party or
Totally.
third
Totally.
party, third eye view signs. It's
Yeah.
just nice because it's like instead of I think that's also the benefit of having Pisces and Aquarius so close to each other is
Yeah.
because I think like try to say that shit's not some of the most important shit we can be doing as humans. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not so much that Pisces is like that. I just think that's that big chunk of it being right next to Aquarius. It takes a lot of that in with the next sign. Like just like we talked about, you can't help but sort of bring the sign, you almost realize how they bleed into each other,
Yes.
how there's a
Yes.
flow to them. And
Yes.
I just find it interesting that Pisces aligns with Aquarius in this way that
Mm-hmm.
it feels like we're not a completely yin. We're actually, it's maybe the smoothest transition, I want to say, of
Right.
any of the sun signs together.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know if
Yeah.
that
I would
sounds right to
agree.
you, Heather, but it
Yeah.
almost feels like
Totally.
it's I think that's what it is. I'm like, oh my God, I can't get over how, because now that I've studied the signs more individually, there's this feeling when you go into different elements, there's already just a contrast that you're feeling But then also some signs are just very extreme in their own. I mean, going from Sag to Cap, are you kidding? Those are two such extreme.
So different. Totally.
They
Going
just
from
both bring
Leo
their
to
own punches.
Virgo is very different.
Right.
I was just thinking about like Libra to Scorpio are both dealing with relationships, but again, the energy is very different. Like you're going from this very light, bright, just seeking harmony to this like intense, we're trying to get deep. Yeah. Yeah. And I think
but it's
Aquarius
just interesting.
Yeah, totally. No, I agree. And I think Aquarius and Pisces are both extremely creative. Like I would say that the signs that tend to deal with creativity the most are Aquarius, Pisces, Leo, and Cancer. I would say. So it's cool that you have that back to back, and then you have the Aries right after that. That's like, all right, what are we gonna start? Like now we've been brewing the ideas. Now let's
cook. Yeah. Well, that's just what's so funny too about, there's one more thing I want to touch on with that really quick, Heather. But one thing I just want to point out is that's why always, as our little girl group, our little like fearsome threesome in theater, you being me, you and Jordy, because it was that Aquarius, Pisces, Aries energy all in one, like truly. And Jordy even representing Aries with like the red hair.
I know
her little fiery ass.
It's
like
true. Her
beautiful
red hair.
inside and out. Like just like Aries to textbook Aries in all the best ways. I love Jordy Kapansky to death.
So
but
fun.
like as you said that, I'm like, that's like you, me and Jordy.
Yeah, no, it's true. That's cute.
We love you, Jay. Come on the pod.
Love you, Jordy.
But one more thing I just wanted to add about the Aquarius Pisces too. Sorry, I feel like I know we're about to jump into Pisces, so I'm not trying to let Pisces. We'll make sure a lot more of the closings really wrapped up in Aquarius because
we're talking about both. It's all.
But it is just funny how these I can't get over. In another similar way, everyone is always fascinated with the conundrum that Aquarius is a physical water, like literally the name is Aqua is in it, and it's a physical water sign. And as we're literally talking about this, I'm like, oh yeah. And also, no shit, Aquarius is kind of this undercover water sign in the astrology realm, even though it's an air sign.
Yeah.
But it's no coincidence to me that it's placed next to Pisces, while Aquarius is the waves and Pisces is the fish. It just to me almost does feel like there's purposely a link to Aquarius and Pisces that even astrology is like admitting to. I just find that interesting. Out of all the signs that feel like they just sort of go hand in hand together in terms of different elements, but that like if you had to like match the signs as close as you can, it almost does feel like Pisces and Aquarius are these weird like sisters. It's really interesting to think about.
I've never really thought about that, but yeah,
the
fact that like Aquarius
look, give me talk about it like I know what the fuck I'm saying.
No, totally though. Yeah, Aquarius being the water bearer and then Pisces being like the last fish. Water sign, the fish. Yeah, that's really cool.
Really interesting.
Oh God, what was I also gonna say that inspired? About Aquarius. Oh, and the myth that Aquarius is linked to. Each of the signs in the zodiac are linked to like a myth from Greek mythology, or there's a lot of different types of mythology. But the myth that's associated with Aquarius is about Prometheus, who like leaves. I'm gonna fuck this up. He like goes to get fire and bring it to the human race. It's like he steals the fire from the gods' kingdom and brings it to the human race because they need it. And that's why Aquarius like deals with like innovation and bringing that unique new thing, usually through a rebellious way, that like elevates humanity or
in a way that the humanity needs.
Yes.
Aquarius would totally be a Gryffindor in the Harry Potter series.
Yeah. Well, so Harry Potter is a Leo, and Leo and Aquarius are the same axis. Yeah, I could see. I also got Gryffindor the first time I took the test. I don't know. Sometimes
I'm a Gryffindor.
But yeah, I think both make sense. That makes sense for you. But yeah, no,
I love violence.
So it's That's Slytherin, right? I don't know.
Slytherin's like sneaky. They're the ones you want in like a battle because they'll know how to like sneak into. Yeah. Scorpios are Slytherin easily. Pisces, I feel like would skew Hufflepuff and Gryffindor. Gemini's Hufflepuff. Gemini's are Ravenclaws. Like,
yeah,
it's so funny.
Sure.
We could do this all day. Well, this is actually a funny concept. I'll pay more attention to this later. But yeah, there's absolutely like you could almost put the signs in houses.
Right.
I should do that on Instagram. Sorry, go on, Heather.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think it's like it's interesting that Aquarius is the water bearer, and yet the myth is about bringing fire.
Yeah, so it's almost like, is Aquarius's punishment like you're an air sign, but we're gonna make it because you're so confusing and sneaky. We're gonna make your symbol water. I don't know.
I don't know.
Like, do you know why Aquarius has the water pattern in the name, but it's not a water element sign? Do you know where that derives from?
The water bearer, I don't know why I thought that was so funny. Water, because like Aquarius is confusing. I feel confused constantly. But the water bearer like symbolism, I think, is just about like we all as humans are made mostly of water. Water is like the number one thing we need to like live and function, and it so represents, it's in our bodies, it's on our land. I don't know, I think, but yeah, the symbolism is like you're offering humanity this necessary thing.
Interesting.
But yeah, no, I'd like to think more critically about that. I don't know.
That is interesting. Listeners, write in with your theories.
Yeah, is this stimulating any new thoughts?
Because people ask me about that all the time, and I honestly don't know what to say. Because no other sign really does it. I think it really freaks people, or not freaks people out, Jesus, but like weirds people out that Scorpio is a water sign.
I know that too.
It's a scorpion, but like water scorpions are a thing.
Right.
And I think that there's nothing that actually symbolizes Scorpio better than a literal scorpion, because Scorpios can have a sting, and it comes from a place of protectiveness, and it comes from a place of usually defensiveness for themselves. Scorpios are really in depth and deep internals. They're a deep sign. So it's like, if you can't get on a level of deepness with them, like it's like, to me, it makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, me too.
Bad thing for Cancer as well.
Absolutely.
All that hard shell exterior, but very gentle, vulnerable internals, you know,
carries its house like with it and can like sneak away sideways like when it feels uncomfortable. Yeah, it's so the crabs.
That's so funny. Pisces being
they can be a little crabby.
Yeah.
Love them, but yes.
Pisces being a fish, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Anyways, so a lot of them are, it's like they all really make sense. The Aquarius one is always the thing that trips people up, and I never know what to say. So it's a fun theory.
Well, also, isn't it one of the only like glyphs that has a human in it? Like the water bearer is a human being giving water to people. Like if you yes, there's the symbol in its most generic form looks like waves, like you said, with the two squiggly lines, but the actual symbol, the constellation, is the person with the water giving it to humanity. So yeah, Sagittarius is the centaur, which is half horse, half human, and that makes a lot of sense for what that sign represents too, because it's like the need to be free and spontaneous like an animal, but also like focused with
again, it's a sign that comes at the end, and that bigger
is so complex. And but I think other than that, I think Aquarius is the only one that has a human, and I see that as very air sign, because air signs deal with like consciousness and brain power and communication. There's a very human thing to that. I don't know. It's
almost like without air, you wouldn't be able to get. It's kind of a beautiful thing. Like without air's movement, you wouldn't be able to get a resource like water, or like it's really interesting. Idea that like providing water is like, or just providing in general for a bigger picture, for like a bigger, greater good, is an air sign's response. That's just a beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Fans, audience, listeners, write in with your theories.
Yeah, this is fun. Yeah,
I love
I'd
this.
like to hear.
We love Aquarius season, and I know we'll talk more about this too, Heather, before the podcast ends. But I
Oh, yeah,
just
yeah.
as we've dipped into this, I'm really looking forward to these birth charts. This is going to be a fun little matchup.
Yeah, I think so too.
Oh, Heather,
Oh, Miranda.
these birth charts, they're fun. These are going to be some fun charts.
These are some, at least one A-lister. But
No, definitely both A-listers, I would say.
A-listers. Yeah.
One more likable than the other.
I feel, yeah.
And it's fun. I don't know if we've, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if we've done a couple yet, like a romantic
I don't think we
partnership.
have. I don't think we have.
Chris and Caitlin, but obviously they're not together anymore.
Obviously.
On our during our Scorpio season with Kendall as well.
Yeah. No, but I don't think we've done a couple.
God bless them. Yeah, but this is a really fun because it's a couple. Should we just do both the charts together? Just introduce them both together. I would imagine.
Sure. Yeah.
Some fun compare and contrast.
Yeah.
And it's just fun that we both have some little personal anecdotes about each.
We do.
Of them.
Yes.
This is gonna be a tasty treat, folks. But Ella. Jesus. All right, drum roll, please. Let's go back. Rewind. Reset, and action. Ellen DeGeneres and Portia. I'm gonna.
Yeah, wait, do they both have duh?
Yeah, well, yes, but then
Ellen
okay,
DeGeneres,
but Ellen
Portia de
DeGeneres.
Rossi?
Yes.
Right?
I think so.
Yeah.
DeRossi, yes, you're right.
How interesting.
At first in my head. Yeah, when I was searching Portia, I first of all spelled it like the fucking car, which I think is P-O-R. I think when I texted you, I did it too.
Yeah,
that's how I spelled it. Legitimately did not know it's spelled Portia.
Yeah.
Whoops. But yeah, she has her like the duh is like separated from Rossi. But Ellen DeGeneres is one last name. But you're so right. That's so funny.
That's so funny. I never thought about that before.
Portia de Rossi.
Yeah.
Both Aquarius suns.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It is interesting.
Both, Heather, as we found out, both fire moons.
Right.
Which like the fire moon doesn't surprise me. Them both having it is kind of fun though.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Right? I bet in their synastry, their moons form a trine to one another because they're both fire, which would point to a lot of compatibility and harmony when it comes to expressing emotions and relating on that level.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it is interesting. Both Aquarius. So yeah.
Ellen is an Aries moon,
which I think makes so much sense.
Mm-hmm. And Portia is a Sag moon.
Which
also makes a lot of sense. And then Portia has she has also Sagittarius rising.
Right.
And Portia's just very like, she's so funny on Arrested Development. Portia de Rossi. Oh my God. I did it again, Degrassi. Like when I Googled her, I was like, Portia de Rossi. And I'm like, that doesn't sound right. And it was like, Google was like, do you mean De Rossi? Dumb bitch. Yeah. Google said, not during Aquarius season.
No, yeah.
But she's so funny in Arrested Development and also so hot. Like she does a really good job of encompassing that. Like she is just so attractive, but then like she's so funny in it. Yeah. She's a really, really good actress, I think.
Yes.
From what I've seen her in. Other than that, though, you're kind of right, Heather. Because I was like, no, I would say she's A-list. And she definitely, I think, like her name is. But in terms of her actual acting gigs, I don't really know what else more she's done besides Arrested Development.
And I was going to talk about this like in conjunction with the chart.
Oh, please.
It's interesting. Yeah, I was thinking like, oh my God, I love her on Arrested Development. I love Arrested Development. Love her character is one of my favorites. But yeah, I don't. I feel like she's not someone who's driven by like doing a lot of work, which is cool. I respect it. But also when you look at the chart,
amen, sister.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But when you look at the chart, Mars is in the 12th. Her Mars is very debilitated. So it's in the 12th house, which is a very unhappy spot for it because they say planets kind of get lost in the 12th house, lost in the abstract and the subconscious. It's
That's
just
right. I
like
gotta check
hard
my
to
12th
own
house
and
after this.
express. And yeah, and
Sorry.
no, totally. And the Saturn is in the 6th in opposition to Mars and Neptune in the 12th. So it's like the 6th house deals with like work and how you get things done on a routine everyday level. And Saturn's restriction, but then it's further restricted by this debilitated Mars and this confusing Neptune. And it's like, I almost wonder if like, I don't know, like she just there's a lack of ability to like or a lack of desire maybe to just like initiate things. Whereas
Pursue
Ellen
acting.
has a very initiatory.
Her
I mean,
Aries
the
moon
Aries
alone.
moon is a cardinal strong moon placement. Yeah.
And like she has Pisces as her ascending or like as her
rising.
Yeah, thank you. She has Pisces as her rising. But again, I think in terms of rising sign, your work ethic doesn't, this is because like I have Taurus as my rising, it does nothing for me. Like
no,
it's
that's
like,
fair.
not that it does nothing for me, but I'm more like, I think that as that placement in that part of her chart specifically doesn't necessarily affect her work ethic, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Speaking from personal experience, if my Pisces, I wish my Pisces sometimes wasn't sun. My son is so like, have a drink, sit back, relax.
Oh my God.
You'll like it. It's sweet.
I know. Sometimes I think my
Anyway.
Taurus moon is what gets shit done. But
You
then
have great work
also,
ambition.
thank you. But
I have
also,
no drive.
I
could be very happy and content, comfortable, not working.
I mean, the thing is, I feel that way like most of the time. Like today, I had all these things I had to do, but instead, I literally like sat in my bed and thought about life, and it's like, anyway.
I hear that.
But
sorry,
yeah,
Portia,
the Pisces rising, it's interesting.
Yeah, really coming across like you connect, aren't you, bitch? It's really funny, Heather, because I want to hear about your like anecdotal moment with, I know you had one with Portia, but all I'll say about the Ellen thing, obviously as of more recent, Ellen did get dragged for like her behavior, and how there was sort of this idea that like people are scared of her that work on her show, and that you're told not to look her in the eyes and yada yada yada. When I worked at Warner Brothers Studios, which is where Ellen shot, I think her show's over soon, if not already.
Right? Yeah.
She was shot in the sound stages 1, 2, and 3 were all connected into one huge, gigantic sound stage. And those used to be the sound stages for ER. It used to be like the hospital. That's why they connected those sound stages, because ER was so successful. So they were like, we'll just connect these sound stages and make it a huge hospital so we can shoot and not have to like cut, and it can be a lot more believable.
Fluid and
exactly. So then when ER went off the air, Ellen took over those sound stages, which is why it's so huge, and she has a huge audience like capacity. And she's a huge show. Like, so it was always like she just had those sound stages. That's like what it was known. And where I worked, which was like in the tours department, and also like mainly working for Conan, which thank God, I loved being on the Conan team, and I was so thankful I wasn't on the Ellen team, because I'd heard, even working in a completely different department. And again, I'd never firsthand experienced this. I never saw Ellen on the lot, but I had heard that there was like this idea that was passed down to us, even in the tourist department. Do not assume just because Ellen DeGeneres is Ellen DeGeneres that she's always going to be in the mood to like stop and be friendly. Don't draw attention to her. Don't wave to her if you see her on her tours. Like, she's been known to like ignore tours and sort of be rude. I also had 2 guests come on a tour once that told me like that this was like their 3rd or 4th time visiting Los Angeles. And like one of the first times they had visited, they were run off the road by Ellen in Hollywood. Like, apparently they said they thought they were just like videotaping and taking pictures while they were driving around Hollywood. It was like their first visit. And Ellen, I guess, thought they were paparazzi, and they didn't even recognize her or nor know she was even nearby until she like essentially ran them off the road. And I have heard that she's like a speed racer and like a really aggressive driver. Anyway,
Aries moon.
But yeah, that was truly so. Like when all that shit came out in the media, I was kind of sitting there like, yeah, they kind of said this to us during tour. We were like warned. I'd heard sort of the same thing. Like there was sort of a joke about not looking Ellen in the eyes. And like, yeah, I just like, it's kind of not surprising, especially looking at this chart a little bit.
Yeah.
She's like, and I get it. Like she's a comedian and she's not always maybe wanting to be on, but there is still something that's like, I get that, but your whole messaging is like treat people is like be kind to one another or whatever the fuck. And then like you can't give people a wave on the lot before you like leave it for a second. Like, I don't know. To me, that also just is kind of like, I do think those things, it's really hard to see Ellen and then hear that messaging. It was really a bummer. Because that's like shit you hope is made up. And
right.
I don't think it was.
Yeah.
And so clearly, but anyways.
Wow. Yeah.
That's just my little anecdote with quote unquote working with Ellen.
That's so interesting. Thank you for sharing that. That's really, really interesting. I was going to say, like, I think that the Aquarius thing, I can kind of relate to this idea of like, I just like fucking hate small talk. I like, they say about Aquarius, it's like, loves humanity, hates humans. Like I can be like very aloof in certain social situations if I just like don't have the energy. Like if I just know we're not going to connect, I it's like I'd rather just like kind of be aloof and kind of like go in the corner than like try. But I feel like that comes off bitchy sometimes, and I've like noticed that. But at the same time, yeah, I don't know. It's so easy to like wave to someone and be like,
well, and also just like, I'm sorry, Heather. Go on.
Oh no, that's all I was
excited.
Say.
These charts lit me up more than I thought they would. I know. But like, also, even if you like watch, she was going on season 20. Like, I think that's where she's stopping. She's like doing season 20, and then that's it, maybe. Or maybe she did go a season over. I'm not sure, but the light just like is not in her eyes.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say.
It's alarmingly obvious.
I feel like if I see a video of her doing stand up back in the day, it seems like there is a light. But yeah, for as long as at least for the past like 5 or so years, I feel like every interview I see of her, she kind of doesn't want to be there low key. It's like hard for,
she's really burnt out.
Yeah.
Which, like, I hear that, but also it's just like, well, honey, maybe don't do, I don't know. Like, it's also just so obvious that she's burnt out, but it's also such a cash grab. Like, it's also like,
right?
Part of me's like,
Portia needs to do more work.
Fuck up. There is part of me that's really like, I don't have empathy for you rich bitch. Like,
I know.
There's part of me that's just like, I think she has rich people brainwash brain. Like, I do think Ellen, when she was younger, like, and again, I don't know what that life's like. I totally understand it's so easy for me to sit here without like my life being everyone else's fucking business. But like, I don't know. I do think Ellen sort of has the world on her shoulders. She was blacklisted from Hollywood when she came out. Like that was like, she was so beloved and had her own sitcom, and then came out and like lost her show. Nobody wanted to work with her. She was blacklisted, and literally Finding Nemo put her back on the map, like made her a household name again and loved again, doing the voice of Dory. And I remember too, a shitty ass friend of mine, she wasn't the shitty one, her mom saying something shitty in Jacksonville, Florida, being like, the voice of Dory's like gay. And I remember being like, what's that even mean? And also, who gives a fuck? I love the voice of Dory. Like, I just remember like, hatred's taught, folks. But it is just like, that's how big of a controversy it was. And that like put her back on the map and like let her return to fame. And then she got the Ellen show. And so I know that it was like, she truly almost lost her entire career by being honest and authentic, an authentic Aquarius.
Right.
But also I do think she's dropped the ball a lot in a lot of ways too. But I'm also aware that it's like, I think there's a lot that we expect. Isn't she a boomer? No, I don't like, not to give any excuses, but I'm also like, again, like, people forget that a lot of the things we're talking about are really new to the conversation.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true.
I think there's a lot more fast forward that the younger generation like wants to press fast forward on, that it's like we have to be a little more understanding. Not to say that we
No,
owe Ellen
no.
anything, but and I do think she fucked up big time, it sounds like. But
Yeah.
anyways,
No, I agree.
we're
I agree with
complicated
everything you're
folks.
saying. Yeah, yeah, and the generational differences are
Yeah,
real.
yeah.
But
Anyway, back to Portia.
yeah, totally. The one thing I was gonna say is I want to like look
Please.
up. I wish I looked up what the transits were when she when the shit fell from the fan, what the shit hit the fan.
Shit hit the fan.
Yeah.
Oh, good point. I think
'Cause,
it was like, was it 2021? I'll have to kind of look up the
that
specific
sounds right.
day
That
she
sounds
got
right.
dragged.
But I feel like, so they say that the rising sign is what you're always supposed to be moving toward. You're supposed to be like moving toward the energy of that sign in order to evolve as a
Damn.
person and like experience the fullness of your personality and all the planets. So like it would make sense to me
Damn.
that the more symbolic reason that the show is getting canceled is for her to tap into her Pisces a little bit more, into like the spiritual, not the business, not the money, you know.
That's really
So I
interesting to hear,
wonder.
Heather. I'm sure you've said that to me before, but I didn't remember that, or like it's just now hitting, because
Right,
Taurus to
yeah.
me is such an exciting sign to strive towards.
Yeah,
Like when I
yeah.
was like, oh, thank God.
I know. Yeah,
It was
totally.
July 27th of 2020
Okay.
is when it all like went down. Peak
Okay.
COVID is when she
Okay.
got dragged. Sorry, I was looking that up on my phone.
Yeah.
Really interesting. Really interesting to hear that. We'd have to like obviously investigate that further, Heather.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah,
But
it
what
is
was your
interesting.
anecdote? I want to hear about your
Oh,
personal
yes,
anecdote
yes.
with
Well,
Portia.
Portia, okay, so I was literally in a physical space with Portia. I got
Hot.
to be, yes, I got to do background acting for one of her scenes in the Arrested Development like reunion season.
Hell yeah, Heather. That's
And
fucking sick.
I was
That's
like, it was
amazing.
honestly probably my favorite
What a
day
bucket
ever
list
doing
goals
background
moment.
acting. Yeah, no, it was
Yeah.
the best because they treated us so well. Like the crafty was amazing, the food was amazing. It
Did
was
you
the
see Jason
chillest day
Bateman?
ever. No, I only saw, and some of the other extras had like worked on other episodes and they were like,
I
oh
see.
yeah, we were just with Jason Bateman. And I was like, oh fuck.
Shut the
But
fuck
it
up.
was so cool that I got to be in a scene
Yeah,
with
still
Portia
Portia's amazing.
where
Yeah, don't
she
get me
was like
wrong.
giving a speech and I was
Mm.
one of the people like in the audience, but it was like a small audience and I got to like just watch her act and deliver this monologue and do a lot of different
Amazing.
takes and variations of it. She seems so chill and so nice.
Amazing.
Her and Kerry Washington are like two of the like nicest
Goddess.
people I've seen on
Goddesses,
sets
both of
who
them.
like regard the audience and they're like they'll like make jokes like with us and like treat us as people and yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's so
And she was
cool, Heather.
gorgeous. She was
You literally
beautiful. She
worked
was
with
poised.
Portia.
I worked with Portia de Rossi.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, they're it's really interesting how similar their charts are, or just the Aquarius sun, the fire moons. Obviously, the fire moons are like different. It's a Sag and a Aries, but it is really interesting how alike their charts are.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. And
What do you
also
think that's about?
Portia's
Are they obsessed with themselves?
I think so. I think Aquarians, my mom always says Aquarians gravitate toward one another. I kind of do feel that. Like, I think Aquarians do get along well with other Aquarians, in my experience being an Aquarius. But
they connect to them.
Yeah, and then I also think having
level,
yeah,
an authentic level.
Yeah, they get each other's differentness, and like I think that's a thing too with moon signs being the same element. I think like makes you pretty compatible. But yeah, I wonder if they're kind of like obsessed themselves, or like especially Ellen with that Aries moon, she might be like, oh, I see you as my energy. I don't know.
Yeah, it's about me and
right.
How it all looks.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No, yeah.
Ellen, there's room for growth, sweets.
Come on the pod. I know. I think there's a lot of layers to all this, but
Portia stands by Ellen. When Ellen was getting dragged, Kris Jenner like posted a "I stand with Ellen" thing, and so did Portia. There was like a whole hashtag "I stand with Ellen" or something like that, or "I stand by Ellen."
Mm-hmm.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, what?
Like, we're having a hashtag movement for Ellen getting
For
dragged.
Ellen, yeah.
Just
For
bow out
Ellen
gracefully.
being
Just
rude.
end the show.
Like,
Yeah, for being a
literally.
bitch. And then,
Yeah.
like, and also she apologized. So, like,
Yeah, what is this? What?
it's like clearly she admitted fault. But
Right,
whatever.
right.
Anyway.
Yeah, what else? The crazy thing about Portia's chart is that it's very on the left side, and yeah.
Oh, really?
It's
And then
very
compared
about
to like Ellen's.
Ellen's is more career focused, the top half of the chart. Makes sense. Portia's is more personal focused in those like first few
that
houses.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, actually. Yeah, it does.
That's really interesting. I also love it when Portia comes on the show. They do have a great chemistry together.
Yeah.
I do think they make a lot of sense. I mean, they're the same. Just kidding. But like I do think Portia's like I think she humanizes Ellen. I really do. So it's really funny that you said that because I was already sort of thinking that in that way. Like if it wasn't for Portia, Ellen would have way more negative points. But
I agree.
I don't know. I think there's a big part of Ellen that she's very career driven and like it shows. Like to be still doing that show with your eyes dead, like you're clearly career driven and about your bag, which like I'm not saying I don't respect, but it's also just like I don't know. I think that's almost I think Ellen almost like was her own enemy in a lot of ways and has gone against herself and her own moral compass. Cause to me, that's very Aquarius to not be authentic to yourself. No wonder she looks dead in her eyes. Yeah. Cause I don't think she was happy doing that, but really letting her like her career driven elements sort of take the driver's seat. So yeah, I think there's something beautiful about her getting dragged for her own benefit because
because everything
she can take
happens
some fucking time
for a
off
reason.
and like
be
a person. She deserves it. Like she deserves to grow just like anyone else. I don't know. I'm trying to flip the Pisces positivity on it.
Right. No, but I agree. I think that's totally true. Yeah. Well,
but anything else, Heather, with these charts before we move on to like the closing and talking a little bit more about the sky? That you wanted to mark, not to put you on the spot?
Yeah, no, I mean the Ellen's moon in Aries is really strong because it has all these trines to her 10th house planets. So there's something about I guess that does sort of say that like Aries is about power, so she like needs to feel powerful in a sense. Not that that's a bad thing, but she has to like feel her power as a human in whatever form that takes. But it makes sense that it is rooted in career because it forms these trines to her Mars and Saturn, which are conjunct in the 10th house next to the midheaven. So that's interesting too.
Ah, I love it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Heather.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Ellen, Portia, Sweets, Honey Bunches, y'all come on the pod.
Yeah,
Let's talk about these mirroring signs. Yeah. Y'all don't have anything going on. Come on. Just be a couple of humans. Come on the pod.
Yeah. We'll talk Pisces shit, Ellen.
Yeah. I'll teach you how to tap into it, bitch, because right now you're not.
You're not.
You need some dance lessons.
Yes.
Little tap joke there, tapping into okay. Amazing. All righty, Heather. Should we give her a little pause here and then do one more quickie little Zoom?
Sure, let's do it.
Amazing. Ooh, Heather. These are some fun charts.
They were. That was fun.
Lacking in balance, absolutely.
Yeah.
But we expected no less.
Yeah. I think about this a lot when it comes to relationships. Like, does that work? Can you be with someone who's just like you? Or is it better to have balance? Or is it better to have a little bit of both? I don't know.
It almost feels like there's no in between. It's either like you have to be almost completely opposite or exactly the same. But I also have known couples who are like exactly the same chart and it's been abysmal. So it really just must depend on those specific degrees, combinations. Clearly it works for Ellen and Portia. I do want to say though, there were recent rumors of them breaking up.
Oh.
But I could be wrong. But I want to say they've been together for a while. I'm actually going to look that up now.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a long time.
Like at least 20 years. Yeah. I could be totally making that up. What do I know? But anyways, they were fun charts. Come on the pod, ladies.
Come on the pod.
I'm Googling how long have
Portia.
Oh, I was gonna
No
ask Heather,
shade.
did you lock eyes with her? Did she
Did
ever like say
I?
anything to you directly?
No, she didn't say anything to me directly, but we
Yeah.
feel like there might have been some eye contact. I don't remember.
Oh, okay. I hear that, sister. Sorry, I just found the
Yeah,
Google.
yeah. What is
I
it?
got
No, no, no,
excited
yeah.
by it. Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi first met in 2000 and they got married in 2008. Damn, so they were dating for a while.
Oh, wow.
In 2010, de Rossi legally changed her name to Portia Lee James DeGeneres. Oh, good to know. The couple celebrated their 10th wedding anniversary in 2018 and they recently renewed their vows. That was written in February. That was written February 3rd of this year. So
Oh, okay. Well,
maybe I completely made those
in
breakup
the
rumors
in
up.
the housewives universe, when you renew your vows, that's usually that you means you're getting divorced in a year.
Okay, maybe I am onto something.
Because it's like
I'll
at
mark
least
it
on
here,
that
folks.
show, it's like it's always like one of the
There's like an
people in the
issue.
marriage, they want to renew their vows because there's an issue, and then the issue doesn't go away just because you renew your vows, and it's like,
I hear that.
but
I hear
anyway,
that. No, I hear that. That's so
well,
funny,
let's wish the
Heather.
best for
We
them.
wish them the best, but any Uzi.
Yeah.
But yes, Heather, in terms of the sky, there's so much commotion this week, like we said.
There's so
We
much.
just had the full moon in Leo. We now have this big Valentine's Day,
Neptune, Venus,
Neptune,
romantic
Venus.
energy.
And then right around right around your birthday, transitioning into Pisces is going to be a big old kaboom. There's just
and then
a lot,
right
folks.
after that, the new moon in Pisces. And like
Do we
I
know
said,
what day that is exactly? I'm sorry.
the new moon's February 20th. Yeah, that's
okay.
what you asked. February 20th, the new moon. The sun enters Pisces on the 18th. And right before that, it meets Saturn in Aquarius. And yeah,
Ooh.
so there's a lot of, which is like a contradiction, like I said earlier, the Saturn thing with the Pisces thing, but I think it's going to manifest well.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it's a great week to like bring manifestations into reality and bring dreams into physical form. Yeah, which is amazing. But also we've been in this, we had that like big retrograde phase for a while where Mars was retrograde forever, Uranus was retrograding. Literally. Now all planets are direct for the next 92 days. We are getting toward the end of the zodiac. These quick moving personal planets are hitting these outer planets. So there's like a lot that's amping up like energetically. And I feel that in my life. I feel like there's less restriction, less bumper car energy. Things are just like flowing a little bit better.
In flow. Yeah. And and not even that too, but I think there was a time where things were in flow for me, but because I myself personally was so out of alignment or just not connected as spiritually to sort of what was going on in the sky around me, literally. And just being at a younger age, like it's like I'm trusting the flow too. I think there was a time where the flow would have made me anxious. Like I couldn't just be in a flow state. There had to be like friction somewhere weirdly.
I feel that.
And now I'm really embracing the flow. I trust the flow. Like this process, I'm writing out this process because I know there's ebbs and flows to all of it. So I'm taking advantage of this like time, and it's just really funny to sort of be in a different place with it mentally. I don't know about you, Heather.
No, totally. No, it does. It resonates. Yeah. I think I was just talking to someone about this yesterday, actually, who was at my storytelling event, who's into astrology, and yeah,
cute.
and I think we're gonna.
Did you plug the pod?
I haven't yet, but I'm going to because we have a budding friendship brewing now.
Cute.
Yeah, which is great. She's Pisces rising.
I'm not jealous. Don't
be. But oh God, where was I going with that though? I was talking about
just kidding.
I'm really competition. Our Taurus, our possessive.
My Taurus rising. Yeah.
About like the flow of things, I think. Just how we were talking about how like the Saturn return is just a lot easier when you know that it's gonna happen, when you're aware of it, because like yes,
when you're in tune with it.
Yeah, I just like things are moving fast for me right now, at least, but I feel like okay, that's
In a
how
way
it's
that's
meant to be.
exciting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm just
There's a
gonna feel
trust to it.
excited. Yes,
Mhm.
exactly. That was
Yeah, the
long-winded,
unknown
but
is like, no. I'm sorry. I just got excited and like
oh no.
I also like I'm right there with you. But like
Yeah.
yeah, there's just like a trust to the overall process, and there's almost
Hmm.
like the unknown is an exciting thing, not so it's such a scary thing anymore.
Yeah.
And that's just I think is from a lot of experience. And also just just the Saturn return time is a very like I can't explain it, but like I don't feel like I can articulate it how I want to, but there's just been such a return to self in such a
Hmm.
trusting way for me.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. There's
Totally.
just like a
No.
proving it to myself that has been accomplished, so to speak. Not that you have to like prove things to yourself, but there's just like the trust is sort of in the pudding.
Yeah,
The proof
yeah.
is in the pudding, so to speak. And like yeah, the Saturn return has been a really lovely, beautiful time to embrace that.
Yeah,
I
yeah. They
guess.
say that or Liz Green says that Saturn is like and the Saturn return is like a yardstick is the
Mm,
term they use to measure uh how far you've come. Like it just makes you very aware of and if you've been working hard in certain areas, rewards just come naturally. Um
yeah,
and yeah, and I think
I love
that
that for us.
I know. I fucking love it. And I think this week, as the sun meets Saturn, we might feel a little bit of that too. Like things you've
Love.
been working on, putting energy into, you could see some physical manifestations of it,
Hell
some
yeah.
reward. Yeah.
Ah, what a beautiful time. Like this new this Pisces new moon. It's gonna be a big manifestation time, I
It
feel like.
is. No, it
I'm
really
really looking forward
is.
to like having a little witchy night, a little
And
witchy evening with that.
yeah, and I think it's the last new moon before Aries, before like the new astrological year.
Yeah.
So,
So it's a big one. It's really
mhm,
charged. We're
yeah,
gonna feel it extra,
yeah,
folks.
we are.
So
We
get
are.
your pens out, get your journals ready.
Take some
Dream
time
big
to
too. Don't play
dream.
small. Yeah. I'm interested to see what the spiritual talkers are saying about this new moon in Pisces specifically.
Oh yeah,
Just especially with like how we talked to the planets are at are like in their what is it? They're just at
oh direct. They're
direct. Thank you. I was
yeah,
like they're
yeah,
at their pace.
yeah, yeah. They're moving forward.
I was making it way harder. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
just it's a very feels very charged.
No, it
What were you gonna
is.
say,
It
Heather? I'm
is.
sorry.
Um.
Felt like I cut you off as usual.
Yeah. No, it is. No. 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 Yeah, it is a big one.
I'm excited.
Also, yeah. Yeah, I was watching a video today, this astrologer saying that the degree that the new moon in Pisces is happening is the same degree that Saturn is about to enter, because Saturn is
Mhm.
about to enter Pisces, which further highlights this ability to manifest things into the physical world. Um
Huh.
so yeah, echoing what you're saying.
That's sick.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
I
I
know.
really, really feel it. Um, and like I said, I not to be like, did I mention I went to Berlin? But like truly, that was a really special being there during the full moon in Leo was really
Yeah.
charged, extra charged and really special. And then just like having that but right at the end of the astro it was a trip right at the beginning of like my human new year, but then
Mm-hmm.
it's also right at the end of the astrological new year. It was just such a huge monumental moment for me on a lot of levels.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to like remember that it's like that's how I started the new 2023 year, but
Yeah.
also that's how I ended the astrological year for myself. And that's like the
Yeah.
energy I'm going into this new year with. And
Mm.
it's just like feels very, just feels like the chips fall where they may. You know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
Heather?
No. Yeah,
Like it
that's
really
special.
does. It all like works out on time. Like the timing of everything is just what it is. There's
Meant
no
to be.
like,
I know.
we're not behind on anything. We're not,
Never.
there's no need. And I'm just, this is the first time in my life I'm like, there's just truly no rush because like,
Yeah.
what is mine is already on its way.
It
And like,
is. It
and I don't
is.
mean that in a lazy way. If anything, it's made my work ethic a lot more fun to embrace.
Yes.
If that makes sense. And
Yes.
the
I'm
creative
not
process has become more
stressed.
fun
Yeah, it's coming
because
from a
we're
more
trusting.
heart-centered, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
trusting place. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It was just it's a really beautiful time. And with
Hmm.
Valentine's Day, we've just celebrated by the time we're listening to this, we've just celebrated it and just a beautiful time. This energy this whole week to tell your loved ones you love them, to tell
Hmm.
yourself you love her.
Hmm.
And I just yeah. I love you, Heather. I love this
I love you so
podcast.
much. I love this podcast so much. I
I'm
love all
loving
the
this time.
listeners. I love the opportunity to talk and share about this stuff because it's important, I think.
Also, what a cute thing. I didn't even think about this, but during this lovey week, and we also did a romantic partnership. Did you already say that, Heather?
Oh my goodness.
But
no.
that just kind of, that's so funny how that coincidentally just sort of lined up. I wasn't even thinking about that earlier.
We're just so subconsciously
aligned.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what spirituality is all about, baby.
It is.
I just what a beautiful time. Listeners, we love you.
Love you.
Infinite abundance. Last Aquarius episode, new moon and Pisces on the way.
Mm-hmm. Here we
Scott's
go.
out.
Here we go.
Buckle up.
It's
gonna be a flowy ride. All right. Cut me off. I'm not even drinking tonight, Heather.
I know.
Infinite abundance.
Infinite abundance. Thank
Goodbye.
you.